I do hope you're just not clicking away just yet. Today's episode is all about a hypercoaster. That is being the next entry in our wonderful Hanseatic Dreamland, a park that is inspired by the Hamburg Park area, or the Hamburg Harbor area, I shall say. And we're starting with the coaster right away. However, first thing first, we need to just kind of fix a couple of things, but I'll get into that in a second, because this episode is going to be grand. It's going to be very good. I'll have to talk a lot about today, but first of all, as always, let's quickly talk about instant gaming. This is the sponsor of the channel. As you all shall know by now, you can get some very great games, DLCs, or even in-game currencies, just like, you know, Xbox money, PlayStation money, and all for a very good value. So there are always deals, like special deals and blah blah blah, and you get some very cool stuff on there, even the latest DLCs, and you can even do pre-orders via this platform. They have a 24/7 support. Everything is really nice on there, and you just check out my link in the description. It's gonna save you some money, trust me. So let's get back into the game, and you'll see that I'll do some planet skylines over here, or cities, planet, whatever, doing some roadworks. But you know, we will have a dedicated episode on roadworks only. I want to make this area feel very realistic, also in terms of how the how the road is going to be involved in all of that. We have already a bit of a parking lot over here that is by any means the finished version of it. I am working currently on some road marks and stuff that we will be using in here, but like I want to really do it right this time around. Sometimes it's been a bit sloppy when I did this in the past, so I definitely want to focus on that. Maybe during a live stream. I will be back to live streaming though as well in the, well, I would say early spring somewhere. The reason for that, well, actually, let's talk about that a bit later in today's video. First of all, I want to talk you through what I'm doing over here with the parking lot. So basically, I was copying it over, and oh my god, is it great to just be able to put pathing in a group and just copy it over. I think this is one of the biggest wins of this game, honestly, like by far. This is so cool. I think I didn't realize at the beginning how much of a sweet thing it is to have the ability to copy pathing. If you watch the videos of Taggy, if not, what are you doing? Are you living behind the moon? Whatever. Or under a rock? I don't know. But like, if you're still playing this game, you are a wonderful person, because you are in a small, very delicate group of people. There are not that many people in the world still playing this game, so welcome. You are in a very, 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 very eligible group. No, jokes aside, the wonderful Taggy, who I've been promoting quite a bit lately, because she just fully deserves that. And also, he's doing some fantastic work. He just recently released a pack of circles, modular circles, that you can use in your park. And they are amazing, because like you can see like these wonky kind of streets on here. I will definitely change them as well. The idea was good. I was using path over path to create this kind of road marks, or like used roads kits, how's it called, like these, you know, rubber elements, whatever. So that is so cool to be able to be used. However, let's now get into the area around the coaster. And the main idea about this hypercoaster was to really be influenced and inspired by the wonderful Silver Star in the Europa Park. Now, Silver Star is a coaster that was basically my very first hypercoaster I've ever been on, which is really cool. And for those eagle-eyed people in the time lapse, it's per se not a hypercoaster, because we will end up on only 50 meters in this time lapse. However, I have changed this to above 61 meters for those who want to be, numbers, pooping, whatever. Per definition, a hypercoaster needs to be 61 meters in height at least. I'm not sure if it is like per se or from the ground level where you are starting, because if it is from the ground level of the station, then we don't even have a hypercoaster here. Then it's just a mega coaster, because then we will be by like 58 meters or 59 meters, I don't know, because the station is a bit raised, as you have seen. But that's just like minor things. At the end of the day, we will also have a POV, don't worry, in today's episode. It's not 100% done. There is a bit of a shaping issue at the end of the day, but my main goal was to get this coaster in. My main goal was to have the layout done. My main goal was to see if it fits the skyline. And this coaster will be tackled so many times. I'm going to talk you through what I mean, because I will be changing so many things in this area. I'll be changing so many things alongside our playthrough in this wonderful park, that this coaster is only in place so I know it is in place, because I want to work my park around this skyline of the coaster. There will be some flat ride interactions over here. There will be a indoor section, even with a hypercoaster. Yes, I said that, but it's gonna be this part over here, as you can see. It's gonna be a part where we are going to go into a old crane building. It's not a crane per se, but a crane building, which will be at the end of this water channel over here. So typically what you would have in an older part of harbor areas, and this is going to be one of the scenic things I wanted to do, but I needed to know where the coaster is. I needed to know how high the building will be. I wanted to make sure that this all is good. And I also wanted to make sure that the coaster isn't taken away too much of the skyline of the rest of the park. So this is why I needed to put it somewhere out. And the next thing I wanted to keep in mind is I wanted to make sure that this area over here with the parking lot is not completely destroyed by this coaster. So if you look at Silver Star, for example, it also has an interaction with the parking lot, but it also goes only besides the parking lot and has only, I think, one or two points where it's crossing over, where mainly the focus is on, you know, having a kind of nice way back into where the station sits, but it's all the way to the side of the park, and then the main coaster goes all the way across the parking lot to the one hand side, and the other hand side is the park itself. So relatively similar to this one, but I mean, given the size of these types of coasters, they are most often than not to the outskirts of your park, or actually they have to be almost like, if you don't want to build your park around them, you know, because like with all the support works and stuff, it's going to be very hard to integrate in an existing park. And this is exactly why I said earlier, I need to build this now, because if this would have been developed later on, like there's no way you can cramp that in without destroying mainly the rest of your layout of the park, which I didn't want to do. I want to do it the other way around. I want to have this coaster being the focus point, and it's going to be developing over time, similar to what we've done with the coaster at the first episode, which was again the same idea, like having the coaster in there and then understanding what's going to change over time. And you know that the layout of this coaster has also changed multiple times, to the point that it's not even finished yet, because a couple of support works need to be done specifically because of this coaster over here. But I'll get into that in the real-time part. I'm going to show you, because I wasn't able to finish off this build as I wished I was. It's still quite a decent episode, quite chunky, because the building of the coaster took me way longer than I wanted to, because I'm not that big of a coaster builder. I'm not so good, so I did need to research a couple of things. I did need to research how the layout wanted to go. You also saw the, I guess, third or even fourth iteration of the coaster in total. I had two different locations. The one was by the big crane buildings all the way across where the cruise ship is, and the other layout was where all the member containers are. Speaking of members, by the way, typically those of you who are members are usually those who keep on listening to the whole episode, and you will be here. So thank you so much for being here. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. I just wanted to quickly use this opportunity to talk about my life situation. It's been tough the last couple of weeks. As you know, I became second-time dad at the end of November, and as things settled in, it all was a bit easier. The little one is amazing. He's really great. He's having a good sleep schedule so far. However, we've got winter, and the big one, my daughter, she's in kindergarten. That means she is in the absolute origin of every single freaking disease you can imagine, or even not imagine. They will find new ones if there is no existing one available at this time. They're gonna bring in some new ones. Hence, the whole family is ill the whole time. I, for once, have been out of this calculation, but I guess, and I feel already my throat being a little bit itchy, and I don't know, maybe it's not taking that long anymore until I'm sick. So making promises is actually not the best idea at the moment. And also, the same goes for work, because you never know how work goes. Last year, towards the end of the year, the work wasn't that stressful. Like, I still have my full hours plus X, but it was all in the normal. But now we are like having a absolutely ridiculous first month of the year, and I'm working seriously 10 to 12 hours a day just for my normal job, and then having a kid, and eventually wanting to spend some time on the sofa. So you can imagine there's really not that much time left for doing videos and stuff. So this session over here was one big session, me building and listening to an audiobook somewhere in the evening, where I was happy enough that my wife already wanted to take a nap, and the little ones were both already asleep. So I took the opportunity, but I did not find another spot during the entire last week to keep on going. So I was like, okay, there's no point in waiting another week because there's not that much left. So I'm going to include what's left in the next episode, and we're going to make that one a bit bigger. Actually, it does, like, thematically, it also does fit a bit better in the next episode because it's going to be around the full area over here, and it's going to make a lot of sense to have it in here. But that also leads to the member part of things. There is something I have in mind for you guys as members. You guys are so loyal and you're so amazing, and you already are part of the containers, but I want to do something else. There is something planned, but it takes time. It's going to be released when we have the billboards, so that's definitely something I can already spoil. So we will need our own custom stuff over here, so gotta wait for that, but it's going to be very great. Now, the problem with this is that again, it's taking a ridiculous amount of time because it's very detailed, and I want to have a flow that allows me to quickly exchange names and stuff, because luckily enough, you guys actually became more and more members in the last couple of months, so that's very nice to see. And so I want to really take the time and make something nice for you. But equally, that also means, again, some more time to juggle into my daily schedule, which is really hard. And that leads to the last point I wanted to quickly talk about while you see the station taking shape. The live streams, which I'm missing a lot, guys. Like, don't get me wrong, live streams with you guys have been a blast in the last weeks, last year's month, and so I know I've not been streaming that often, but the times we were able to, it's always been super fun, it's always been super constructive, and even though we don't get that much done on stream, it's a very good way to get in touch and, you know, stay updated, and that is definitely something I'm looking into. But in all honesty, there's no point to be over-promising, and as life situation at the moment isn't really easy enough to get some time out of it, I have to be just, like, true to myself and also true to everyone else, that at the moment, other than some very spontaneous live streams on weekends when there might be time, there is no point in even thinking of them. I do hope that towards the early spring, job situation should be a bit more settled in. At least that's what we are planning. And also the situation with the little one will be resolved a little bit. And the sickness season, like the kindergarten season of every single disease imaginable, is also kind of over then. So that is what I'm looking at. And once that is in, I'll be able to look into our Monday streams again. I think that's the day, Monday or Wednesday, even though I think theoretically the Monday will be the better day. Now, that all off the way, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is why I put this to the middle part of the video, because usually people do skippity skips and so on, and this is the part where the least people are. So I do guess that only those who wanted to actually know that have now heard that. And for everyone who just skipped here, hey, I got ya. You skipped here? Wonderful. Let's talk about the station. And the reason why this is raised is, I don't know. It's no, actually there is an idea behind this. Now, this building in particular, I imagine, could be somewhat of a maintenance building for the entire park, and it is already connected to the other side. I'm going to show that in the real-time part, to one of the backstage areas. So what I actually want to do, and this is the plan, is to build some backstage areas in the brake run area of this coaster. I want this coaster to go through the maintenance shed of some stuff, and I want to put some coasters in there, like empty coasters obviously, with a coaster car standing there, just as if they were in an inspection or something, like, or maybe a new delivery or so. I feel like this could be a fun idea. I just wasn't able to do this in this episode, but I think that would be a bit of a nice point of trivia. And as for the maintenance shed for this coaster specifically, I also envisioned the same, that in this specific coaster it would be lowered down into a maintenance shed below. Sometimes that's the thing you have, and yeah. Just a bit of an idea to why the whole station is raised. And then also have the queue over here. I was thinking in making another layer of queue going above each other. Maybe I still will do this, but for the moment being, I'm happy with the solution here. Simply because I would need to change both sides, like the staff exit and the queue entrance. Both need to be switched in order to make this work. And so I'm not even sure if this is worth. I mean, worth it. the overall queue is definitely long enough. Like in terms of realism, it's not, but in terms of Planet Coaster 2, it's definitely. And I guess it just is a bit of a shorter one. Like the one I made for our tilt coaster is ridiculously realistic, and the other one in the center of the lake is ridiculously unrealistic because it's way too short. So I thought let's do a little bit of a middle one over here, which is somewhat realistic in the way that it is not super short, but it's definitely not long enough to like compete with the likes of Tauron or even Fly. Gosh, have we even talked about this yet? Have you ever been to Phantasialand and have been on Fly, the wonderful coaster that lets you actually fly through a steampunk Berlin? I love this coaster. It's been instantly one of my favorite coasters all over the world. But hold on, this queue is insanely long and insanely crazy because they're literally walking through the entire area. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Now, yeah, it's all been it's all been super fun, and it's all been good. So at this point, I would say let's have a look how it all looks in game, because there are just like a couple of little things I'm fixing. So let's switch over in the actual game, shall we? Alright, so here we are in the real-time part. As you can tell, this is to the edge of our coaster that is mainly focused on the lake itself, just to give you a bit of an idea where we are at. This is our main part, so to say, at the moment, and this on the right-hand side is the overall layout of our hypercoaster. You can actually see it go up here. This is where it basically goes. You can see I have also changed the start of the coaster itself. Gonna be a lot more work about the supports, as I said, you know, custom supporting everywhere. There needs to be a lot done. There's the a bit of the typical kind of support way missing, and so on and so forth. Like, there's a lot. The catwalk is missing. Same goes for a couple of things over here. But overall, I'm rather happy. You know, the coaster goes very nicely over this crest over here. Has a bit of a left-right thing. Then we have like a super large roll. As I said, I gotta maybe make this a tiny bit higher just to give a bit more speed. Specifically here towards the outside of it. Then we have got this one. Again, this will be in a special building. And then up here we do have a bit of a mid-course brake run, which is definitely needed. And then again, somewhat of a flaw in my coasters lately anyways, but in this one it actually works, is that the second part of the coaster usually is way shorter than the first part. But the thing is, over here it goes a lot slower than in the first part, so it's kind of equally working, so we can have safely 2 cars, and this will be all differently supported. And then it all goes into this shed over here, following along in here. Also, the lighting obviously makes a lot of great stuff in here. And as I said, this is going to be like a bit of a maintenance area anyways, where I want to have like maybe some backstage carts, even some boxes, some props and so on that we would have used throughout the park. Because again, this is where the backstage area is, and I figured that this could be like a very nice gate over here. I may need to just move these typical, I don't know what exactly I wanted to do with this, maybe like a generator. We can pull them over to the left and then just have some backstage stuff. You can see I have a couple of props already standing over here, but it's gonna be filled over time, you know, as a backyard. And then for the way where it sits in the park is when we're crossing this coaster over here, where I said this queue is ridiculously short. As you can see, people are already starting to queue on the normal pathway. If we go through here, we are opening up into this flat ride area, but again, to the left-hand side, this is where our bigger coaster sits. By the way, you can see there's a bit of nice work I did here in the front. I didn't want to overdo it, but like having this view, having the other coaster come over you and then go through here into the queue area is kind of cool. And then we go into this section, and then this is where the indoor section is. I need to do a lot of coverage here because that's way too dangerous at this point. And what I was saying is, like, I thought about maybe having 2 separate layers of queue. Maybe I will do this, and maybe I will then have like one staircase going up here and then make the old stuff meander down here and go up again, because as I said, this is the backstage access to the maintenance exit for the staff members, which we obviously need, and it does have the exit to the outside here and goes all the way around. It's going to be separately integrated with a staff room that's going to sit somewhere over here. There will be like a whole staff area in here, and it will be kind of visible, which I thought was a cool idea, to have like the brake run come in, and then you have a little bit of a peek of a backstage area for the staff. You know, there will be some picnic tables and maybe some junk on the tables and stuff like that, like making it really feel like. And again, this is me pointing at Planet Coaster. Why the heck these staff rooms are not designed to the interior just like in Planet Zoo was. I don't know, these are like the tiny ones, like a little bit of love here and there, you know. But that's the idea about this section, and then this hall over here will play a role in a later stage of this entire project. I have an idea for that, but it's not going to be revealed too early. This one is going to be later on. I wish for a couple of things that the game will need, so you can make up your mind what this camel is talking about. But if you followed around for longer, you know that my mind is not easy to read, even not for myself. But also, people figured that out last episode. Some of the footers over here are not aligned correctly, which, honestly, you know what? I'm just going to quickly do this. This is due to the fact that I have multiple times realigned this coaster, and this is the perfect example to what's going to happen with the other coaster too, because this is part of the game. Part of the game is realigning and redoing what we have to suit it better once we're there, you know? That's exactly what needs to be done and what will be done. And also I forgot about one here, so whoops, let's move that one over too. So just to that side in here, just like so, and we got a footer. Not sure if this is all. Yeah, there's another one missing, by the way. I didn't mean to do that, but like it's the perfect example to showcase what's gonna happen with the Hypercoaster 2. And I can definitely do this better now because we have the correct support pieces, but I couldn't care less at this point in time. There are some others not fixed, because I wanted to just use that to show you what's gonna happen soon. So the parking lot is becoming more extensive, and we will put one of these buses, and you know what, we can actually again just do that. I wanted to put a bus back here, but like there's no need for having a bus. I definitely need to have like a spawner in some of the car or so, because I want to have people come into the park from all over the places and not only this cramped area over here. I definitely want to get rid of the ship here because that's way too close, and I want to make them come from everywhere. Also spawners in the back here, and there's like going to be like a tunnel entrance leading towards nowhere, but basically a spawner in here would be cool, and then just having a sidewalk, which could be easily done by the barriers now, using the barriers. Same goes for that sidewalk over here to be used so that people actually come here as planned. And then, as you can guess, we will... Where are you coming from, by the way? Oops, I don't need to have that many here. Just a couple, okay? And, oh, I know what, I just put this in, and this was used to be as a planter. Anyways, what I do want to have is some buses and stuff going around here. I mean, you've definitely seen the trick, how this is done. I will use a flat ride, bore it into the ground, and then I make some scenery stuff, so that we actually have some cars and stuff coming in here, looking for a parking lot, and then going out. This will potentially be done with the X Dimension coaster, that is going to be using push tires and switch tracks to make it really like look like as if it's parking in here and then going into a different direction out of the park. So just to have some movement in here. It's going to be horrible to build. Actually, maybe not even that horrible, because I could build it earlier and then just make it later on. It's gonna be looking fine, I guess, as soon as I have it, and just have some movement in here. I do hope at some point we'll get some proper cars, because having I can build some cars. That's not the issue. We have got a wonderful building toolbox, but they will contain out of a bajillion pieces, and I don't want to stress the whole game more than needs to be. But yeah, just last but not least, let's have a little look from the first person camera, just to show you what this is like as an experience for your guest. So you come to this area, and obviously it's kind of empty at this point, so you can expect something to be sitting in the center here, and you can expect quite a lot to be sitting back there. So definitely going to be a flat ride that's going to sit here, definitely. Gonna be a flat ride. I have no idea which one, so be crazy in the comments what you would see in here. These buildings in the background will receive a bit more detailing. Same goes for that one, because it definitely looks too copy-pasty, and I don't like that. I want to have some more wonderful styling, so at least this facade over here will receive a makeover, and that one either. So yeah, this is going to be a flat ride. Again, no idea what exactly this is going to be. There will be a bit of a picnic area in here too, so looking forward to that one to be built. You've got that wonderful shot now of this crazy roll. Oh gosh, this is kind of a crazy look. Oh my god, look at this. I've not seen this yet. This is ridiculous. I wanna see the coaster go through there once at least, because I've never seen this shot, because this is something I've never looked at. It was never done, you know. But seeing this now with like all the cranes in the background and even the ship in the far back, that looks so fantastic. There is the coaster. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. And bang into that one. Ooh. Ooh, oh, the autosave just kind of crashed it a little. And then it goes all the way there into... I mean, it's not the most realistic thing, but the shape looks very sick from over here. Not gonna lie, the reshaping of it was definitely worth it. I don't know how often I did change it, but like from various angles it looks a bit weird, but I gotta admit this angle there was absolutely thick. Love it. Yeah, there needs to be a bit of a fencing over here as well for these kind of tanks, for whatever they will be used. I still love this area because it just kind of feels like it's meant to be here, you know? It's meant to be a bit of a tank for whatever sort of things they need in here. Maybe gas, maybe oil, I don't know. Oil could be a thing in this kind of time. Hey, what are you doing, little one? It's kind of fancy to see them running around themselves now without a family, but sometimes I'm like, okay. Yeah, but this is it. There will be a bit of a signage over here, so you see the coaster. I love this little peek through where you can see the coaster passing by. There is this window, fully intentional. And this is the kind of makeover you can expect from these halls everywhere in this project. You see me rambling now, and this is mainly because I am enjoying this project so far so much. Let me just jump out of this camera and go back into the overview camera. I am beyond excited for this project. I know Planet Coaster 2 has issues. I know Planet Coaster 2 isn't so well received, and I know the views of these projects are way lower than anyone has expected in the YouTube genre. I know all of this, but still I am enjoying this specific project so much, and I think this is mainly down to the fact that the idea, the context, and the execution so far is what I really envisioned, and hopefully you guys understand this the same way. Hopefully you guys feel the same way. I am beyond happy that you guys follow through, and if there's only one thing I wish for is please comment a lot on this video. I know you guys, a lot of you barely ever comment, and it's fine. I understand that. I also very rarely comment on YouTube, but commenting these days has become very rare, and if there's anything I need for a project like that, it's ideas and your comments. You know, I will not always make every wish come true and every comment come true, but for those of you who've been with me for longer, you know that I will try to bring as much into the project as possible because I'm always trying my very best to kind of get these ideas in one way or the other. And yeah, please make sure to comment whatever you think about this project, whether it's just a great I like, or it's maybe I want to see XYZ in here, or if you have any idea what could be in one of these halls, please do comment down below. This helps the most, and I love to interact with you guys. So thank you so much as always, and now it's time to say goodbye. And also a little reminder, if you need a game, a DLC, or in-game currency, check the link of Instant Gaming in the description down below. Thank you so much. I talk to you in the next one. Stay safe and goodbye.